Hello, my name is Eric Putkonen. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm talking about the way is to lose, not to win. This is a counterintuitive idea, really, because when it comes to spirituality, people think about spiritual growth. It's what they gain, what they win. That is what the focus is on. And that may be enlightenment, bliss, whatever they think they can gain. And I kind of like what the Buddha did, because at one point the Buddha was asked, "What have you gained through meditation?" And he said, "Nothing. I have lost. I have lost anger. I have lost envy. I have lost jealousy." And the list went on. And I think it's a poignant aspect to notice that it is not about winning or gaining. It's about losing. And so the way isn't about winning, getting there, enlightenment, whatever that is. It's not about winning that. It's about what is now and losing attachment, a losing of hate, losing regret, losing anxiety, losing suffering. That is what it is about. It is losing ignorance, the dispelling of ignorance. That's what it's about. It's not about gaining or winning some new knowledge. It's about losing ignorance. Because in the losing or dispelling of ignorance, because we're aware and we see, what is seen as it really is. But when there's ignorance, what is seen is misunderstood and mistaken to be for something it is not. Kind of like a mirage. If there is ignorance, you look at the mirage and say, "Oh, it's water." You're not really seeing it for what it really is. But if you dispel the ignorance, then you may see, oh, maybe something about it tips you off, but you go, "Oh, that's a mirage. That's not water at all." And so I would say in your practice, in your studies, it would be important to have a little bit of a weight on the side of losing. You want to focus on losing, really, in terms of overcoming or getting rid of these things. Because in the end, enlightenment and awakening results in a great loss. Not that it's a personal loss, but in the human body mind and its expression, although there is the potential for it, various things don't seem to arise much or at all anymore. And so there's a loss of anger, potentially. There are exceptions. I mean, Nisargadatta Maharaj was known for his temper. But those were just, he said, some skaras and vasanas executing in the body. It didn't pertain to him. And so there are exceptions, of course. It's not a black and white rule I'm trying to create here, but I would say the form of anger is substantially changed. But you may lose sadness and sorrow. Again, not a hard and fast rule. Even Ramana Maharshi, when his mother died, shed tears and mourned for a short period. It wasn't days, weeks, months, or years of mourning, but he shed tears the day she died. And so there are these vague areas, but then there are ones I think that are pretty absolute in terms of fear. You lose fear and the various manifestations that include anxiety and worry. So you lose worry and you lose anxiety as well. To a large extent, although maybe not absolute, you lose stress. Stress is a fundamental struggle in fighting with reality, fighting with what is. There is an instance, let's say you're playing a game. And if it's vitally important that you win, and you start adding pressure on yourself, let's say a chess match, and you're starting to be on the losing side, and so you're redoubling your efforts and adding more pressure to win, this situation may become very stressful, especially if there's something to gain or lose, like a championship award or a cash prize or whatever. But that's because of that viewpoint. Now, if you lost stress, what would happen is you would try to win, you would do your best to win, but you aren't stuck on winning anymore. And so you enjoy the challenge of the game. It's not stressful. We don't typically call challenges stressful. Instead, we deem something stressful. And then sometimes, I think, mistakenly say it's a challenge we're trying to overcome. Because if it's truly a challenge, like a game can be challenging, it's not particularly stressful. We enjoy the challenge. It's only when we add pressure, stress, struggle. That's what creates stress. So we lose stress. We lose the chattering mind. After the illusion of me shatters, much of that chattering mind, which is the vast majority, self-reflective and centered thought, ceases to arise. When the me is not believed, all these thoughts of a me slowly cease to arise. I mean, a good part will fall right away probably, but it'll diminish even more over time. And so there's a loss of the monkey mind, compulsive thought. There's a loss of self-pity. There's a loss of guilt. There's a loss of, all these different things. And so it's not about winning or gaining. If you are focused on trying to win or gain something, I think that is getting in your own way. Because that mindset of I need to win, I need to gain, the fundamental idea is I don't have it now, and so I need to get what I don't have. But fundamentally, you already have all you need now. What's getting in the way is ignorance. And so you need to lose ignorance in order to realize what you already have, to realize what you already are. If you lost ignorance, you would realize you're already self. You're already Brahman. And so the whole idea of win and gain on the opposite side is, well, I need to become one with Brahman. I need to connect with self. These are winning strategies. They assume you already don't have it. But that's not the case. You already are self. You already are Brahman. All you can do is lose the ignorance that's in the way. And then you'll realize what has always been the case. And so it's not a win. It's not a gain. Because when it's realized that, oh, Brahman alone exists, I've always been the self, when this is realized, you didn't gain anything. It's kind of like if you were wearing your glasses, but you didn't know you're wearing your glasses. And for some reason, you have the idea that you need to look for them. And so you're looking everywhere for your glasses. You're looking around the house, you're looking in the car, you start looking in the office, other places you think you might have left them. And then you look in a mirror or something and go, oh, I'm wearing them. If someone was to ask you, what have you gained? Well, I've gained nothing. What I was looking for, I've always had. What have you lost? I lost ignorance. I lost the very idea that I didn't have them. And that's why I think it's an important, subtle distinction between whether it's a win or a loss. Because some people have a hard time separating the two. They think, well, if you lose this, you automatically gain this, and so it can be either way. I don't think that's the case when you are basically trying to realize the self, or Brahman, or non-duality. As long as you're going from the standpoint of win and gain, you are actually continually shoving it away because you are refusing to recognize what is already the case, what has always been. But if you focus on loss, then you go, oh, I have this, but it is an illusion, it's not correct, and so I lose that, and then you're left with what is. Something to consider, something to ponder. But if you got any questions, comments, please post below. Until next time, thank you much.